And we are here at the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium. I'm Rob Lomas, and I am going to be commentating on the RWB Big Grid race. There are over 80 cars here at Spa-Francorchamps as the lights go green, and away we go down the hill past the historic, famous old pits here at Spa-Francorchamps. Currently looking at the number 59 McLaren of Tushkov as they come up through Eau Rouge and Radion. It appears to be clean so far in front as everyone makes their way through one of the most famous and formidable corner sequences in motorsport up the hill along the Kemmel Straight. Now we're coming up towards Lacombe. Plenty of battles in front as they come hard onto the brakes at Lacombe. There's a car going a little bit wide there. And they come into Malmedy and heading out of there down the hill towards Bruxelles corner right now. We're currently looking at Marco Podovsky in the number 33 Ferrari from the Helicam here. Currently got Crawford Brown in front of him, Eddie Warden behind him. Running within track limits there at No Name corner. Currently looking at DOR in the ML Ferrari Racing Lexus. He's got Moss in the McLaren in right up behind him as they come through Pouhon on the opening lap. There are yellow flags somewhere around the circuit. We're not 100% sure where yet, but they are coming through the Fania chicane right now. It's nice to be referring to corners by actual proper names rather than numbers, but that's an argument for another time as they head towards Davelo and back onto the old traditional part of the circuit here at Spa. The long run up towards Blanchemont through the Curve Paul Frere, excuse me. DOR right in behind, tucked right in behind Moss there in the Aston Martin. It's a little bit wider coming out of Blanchemont onto the marbles ever so slightly. Is he going to have a go up the inside into the bus stop chicane? No, he is not. As there's a Lexus which spins in front of them. I unfortunately can't quite make out who that is. That looks to be Eddie Warden in the 56. Judging by the way he is falling down the field. Lemke is in the pits as well and falling down the field as well. We're currently still on board with DOR. As there is a Lamborghini off. That is Harry Hetty in the number 77 that has had a big off somewhere. Blanchemont and rejoins the circuit and takes out Peter Varga in the BMW M6 GT3. Varga is currently waiting around there. It is absolute carnage. Varga tries to reverse back onto the circuit and oh dear, he appears to collect Bouver in the McLaren, and in the Mercedes, excuse me, as they all get underway again. Back to green flag running here at Spa-Francorchamps. Currently looking at Peter Varga, 64th place in the number 14 BMW. He's got some visible damage on the right-hand side of his car. Whether that's going to affect the aerodynamic performance of the big BMW, it remains to be seen as he comes through Eau Rouge up into Radion and onto the Kemmel Straight. It doesn't appear to be. There's an Audi in front of him, and oh goodness me, there's a big incident there. He goes through as it looks like it might be Florentin in the McLaren involved, and quite a few other drivers as well. Although with over 80 cars on circuit here at Spa, a good 33% more than they usually have in real life for the 24 de Spa-Francorchamps. This is sort of almost to be expected here with 26 minutes to go. Varga now up to 55th place overall in the BMW. Still looking at Varga. It says he's got Kutnik in front of him in the McLaren. There appears to be something which has the rather distinctive silhouette of an Audi R8 in front of him. We're currently looking at Christoph Verstappen in the number 16 Lamborghini. He's got Radek Schuller in front of him and Emo Plate behind him. Currently now looking at Emil Sjöblom in the number 747 Lexus RCF GT3. On board with Emil right now as he hits the brakes for La Source. The good exit out of the source. He's got Marco Podovsky in the Ferrari behind him. He's got Jongen in another Lexus in front of him. Fortunately, I don't actually know his name. I do apologise sincerely for that. Come out of Radion, up the hill, through Kemmel, and onto the Kemmel Straights. This is a crucial corner sequence, Eau Rouge Radion in a GT3 car, as Podovsky looks to have a little look up the inside, maybe. No, Sjöblom closes the gap nicely. There's a car going off in the background, as Sjöblom is still 9th place, Podovsky 10th, Moss 11th. They head into Bruxelles. Still yellow flags around the circuit, which is in almost a given the amount of cars we have on circuit here. Podovsky's closing the gap up to Sjöblom as they head into Pouhon. Looks as if Podovsky is running a little bit wider on the exit, maybe wanting to try and get up the inside for Fagnes. No, he doesn't quite do it there. Through the right-hander, then the left-hander at Fagnes, and heading now into Campus Corner. Still very close between Sjöblom and Podovsky, a third of a second in it. They come through Davolo towards the curb, Paul Frere. Still looking at Sjöblom's Lexus. They come up now towards Blanchemont, where Luciano Berti had a particularly bad accident during the Belgian Grand Prix in 2001. Sjöblom pulling away a little bit there from Podovsky. They're all hard on the brakes. Got Crawford Brown in 7th, Jongen in 8th. Jongen looks as if he might actually be having a go at Crawford Brown up ahead. We're currently looking at Podovsky, and Crawford Brown, I think, has indeed actually got the position from Jongen. Yes, he has. We're currently looking at Aaron Araday now, 19th place in the number 996 Audi. Bit of a Audi club meeting of sorts going on there. Carolia and Moore involved as well in the 99 and 91 respectively. They come down the hill. He's got the Porsche of Barnett in front of them. And, oh, that is a horrible looking accident for Aaron Araday in the number 996 Audi. Right at the top of Radion. He returns to the pits, and that is a vicious accident at the top of Radion. Hopefully Araday is okay after that. That was a very, very nasty accident indeed there on a piece of circuit with not an awful lot of runoff area as well, for good measure. We're currently looking at my 3 in the number 1 Audi, the Belgian Audi Club WRT liveried entry in the Silver Cup class. Currently going up the hill now. He's got Quella in the 32 Mercedes right behind him. This is a battle for 52nd, it says, but we're crossing over now to Crawford Brown's Ferrari, car number 3 in the Pro class here. That is best lap last time around. A 2:19, I think that said. He's coming now through Blanchemont in the Ferrari. He's got Jongen right behind him in the Lexus. Jongen wanted to take the place back. He goes for a look up the inside at the bus stop chicane and gets the Lexus hauled up in time and holds the inside line for the second part. Crawford Brown has lost the place to Jongen in the 405 Lexus. That was for P7 overall and in the Pro class. Here at Spas, they all bottleneck once again for the hairpin at La Source. Long run down the hill now. Sjöblom goes a little bit wide. Maybe that gives Podovsky a little bit of a chance. They come towards Eau Rouge. And Sjöblom still has it. in P9 from Podovsky, although Podovsky is right with him. And speaking of right with him, Crawford Brown has got a good run out of Radion. He's slipstreamed Jongen's Lexus on the Kemmel Straight and has cleared him way before, but Jongen's on the inside line for Lacombe and gets the position. Meanwhile, Turbulum's going a little bit wide, loses place to Podovsky, loses the place as well to Moss in the Aston Martin. Does he? No, he does not. I think he might have. Definitely, yes, he indeed has. Excuse me. So he's got DOR right behind him right now in the number 18 Emil Fry Racing Lexus. Behind him is Varley in the 55 McLaren. Battle here for 11th place now. Currently looking at Kai Banks, RWB Godzilla in the 34 Nissan GTR, currently P29 overall. He's got as a good battle going on behind him between Tarantino and Chafer. And between, yeah, Martin Chafer and Simon Tribex getting involved in the Bentley as well. So they're going a little bit wide. There's a McLaren in front and it's all concertinaed up once again. Currently looking at Martin Chafer's Nissan GTR, which, well, quite honestly, you wouldn't be able to miss that even if you tried. Very bright livery on the number 17. Please end it now. Racing GTR, the McLaren. It's a McLaren that's going back down the field. That's the 039. I'm having a little look to see if I can find that on my timing screen. Fortunately, I can't. That could be the 89, maybe, of Dahlgren. Who knows? I'm not 100% certain. Still looking at Martin Chafer. He is right behind Simon Tribeck as we speak. Tribeck's unmistakable Bentley, but there's Tarantino in the middle between them. Good bit of driving there from Tribeck. Meanwhile, Kai Banks is just ahead of them. Still looking at Chafer. There's a McLaren stopped there as well. Currently looking at Deb Terentovic. I think, I'm sorry if I've mispronounced your name, in the number 40 BMW. It's Matt Red's looking car. He's got the number 20 Porsche of, I think that's Stamley behind him. And then Petushikov behind them. Currently now looking at DOR in the number 18 Lexus. It's all hell has broken loose there. 3 wide on the run into Bruxelles. A little bit of a hip and shoulder there as the Lamborghini of Verstappen goes wide. There's, I think that's maybe Sherblum going wide there as well, as DOR's lost 12th place to the McLaren. I think that's Avali. He's got the other McLaren across Zolia behind him as well. We're currently now looking on board with Simon Tribeck in the number 81 Bentley. Currently 29th place overall, now on board with Tribeck. Coming out of Bruxelles, good exit. He's got the, he's just lost the position there to Kai Banks, RWB Godzilla, in the number 34 Nissan GTR. Heading down the hill into Pujon. Coming now looking back at Terentovic. There's action happening all across the field here. He's got the Aston Martin of Petushikov, who gets the position up the inside into Pujon. Nice clean overtake there from the Ukrainian driver. Now Stamolier is behind Terentovic. The McLaren there getting out, lap down, I presume, getting out of the way. They all fold their way through the Fania chicane, heading up towards the right-hander at Campus Corner. Still with Terentovic, he's got Stamolier, Wilk and Barton all behind him in close company. In fact, Barton, I think, might be having a little look at Wilk there coming out the corner. Barton's on the grass as well, which is not ideal. They're still side by side in the background. Barton's attempting to hang on around the outside at Blanchemont, which is brave, quite honestly, as Family has a little look up the inside, maybe doesn't go for it into the bus stop chicane. Terentovic still 36th place overall. They head down the pitch straight one more time towards La Source. Still looking at Terence Hovish in the BMW M6 GT3, car number 40. They all head down towards Eau Rouge, up the hill through Radion. Gets a good exit through there. We're currently halfway through the race as things stand. And there's still an almighty battle going on behind them between Damien Wilk and Stamley. Has Wilk got the position? No, it looks as if he might be drawing alongside slightly. On the run up to Lake Coombe, Moss is in the pits in the McLaren meanwhile in the background. The slow Lamborghini car number 77 in front of them. The lapped car, not for position, I should add. Lamborghini gets out the way nicely there as lets everyone else through, which means that there's now another Lamborghini as well, I think, separating Terence Hovish and Patushikov. Meanwhile, Chafer's up to Martin Chafer in the number 17 Nissan, coming up to 31st. Simon Trebek up to 30th. Kai Banks up to 29th. Still with Seb Terence Hovish in the number 40 BMW M6 GT3. Coming through now, and we're looking at DOR. He's currently got an Aston Martin going up the inside. That's car number 28. That's Git in the Aston Martin there. Up to 13th place. DOR down to 14th. We've still got a good battle. There's Eddie Warden going through. I believe there's a lapped car there as well. And Git going, cutting the corner somewhat there at the top of Radion. Try and get a better exit to get the back marker Ferrari well and truly out the way. Indeed, blue flags are waving to let the Ferrari driver know that there is a battle for position there. He holds, almost looks as if he holds up DOR slightly through Lake Coombe and through Malmedy. Heading now up to Bruxelles. Will the Ferrari get out of the way? Yes, it does. It also lets Coltzolia and Caro and Ferrari, is another Ferrari as well through, I believe. So that's good. DOR currently has Coltzolia behind him in the battle for 14th place. Currently looking at Mate Barnett, I think. Sorry if I mispronounced his name, in the old Jaguar XKR GT3. Should be quite a quick car around here. Meanwhile, looking at Kai Banks, he's in a real battle with Simon Trebek. Trebek's in front of him. They've got a lapped car in front of them, and that balks them. And that sends Martin Chafer onto the grass there in the Nissan GTR. Martin, I know fairly well through another Discord server. I don't think he's going to be terribly pleased with the driver of that Aston Martin. That lets Wigglesworth have a little look around the outside into the first part of Fania, and finally the Aston Martin lets in the second part, but Chafer's lost a good few attempts at least. In fact, probably getting on for a second. Yes, indeed, he has. He's lost almost 2 seconds to Kai Banks in the number 34 Nissan GTR in the battle for 30th place here at Spa-Francorchamps. There are currently just over 11 minutes of the race left to run. Looking at Mohamed Karolia in the number 99 Audi R8. He's got Coltzolia in front of him in the McLaren, car number 11. And definitely the meat in the McLaren sandwich is he's got Simon Kruger right behind him, another McLaren. Some of these cars are starting to look a little bit second-hand, which is, well, almost to be expected at this point, with 82 drivers taking the start of the race. Currently heading through Lake Coombe and into Malmedy right now. Coltzolia gets a good exit from the corner. Hard onto the brakes for Bruxelles as we speak. Good looking exit there. From there into brief dab of the brake for Speaker's Corner. Doesn't run too wide. On exit as he heads down the hill now towards Pouhon. Through the first part. Through the second part, which always catches everyone out for track limits in real life. Well within track limits there, so no need to worry about telling off from the stewards. And many thanks to our race stewards here at RWB, without whom we would not be able to go racing. And I do feel genuinely sorry for them, given the job they have ahead of them, with 82 cars on track here at Spa-Francorchamps. Deal with Corolla as he comes out of Curb Paul Frere up towards Blanchemont. Good exit from Blanchemont there. He's got Kruger and the McLaren maybe trying to see if he can pressure him into mistake. Now we're on board with Jeroen Jongen. I unfortunately did not know your first name earlier. I do apologise. Now currently with Eddie Warden in another Lexus RCF GT3, which is a personal favourite of mine just for its stability. Currently looking at Crawford Brown in the Ferrari, car number 3. It's bright yellow. You really wouldn't miss it, even if it was typical Ardennes weather and it was raining. Not that I want to give our organisers any ideas, but there we go. Deal with, and we're now with Simon Stamley in the number 20 Rothko Porsche. Rothko being the Golf liveried collection of Rod Goethe, the German businessman and enthusiast who's a former class winner at Le Mans. Currently looking at Simon Trebek now in the number 81 Bentley with the very patriotic red, white and blue Union flag livery. No doubt a cup of tea is had before getting in the car, I must say. Currently on board with Simon Stamley. Heads through Radion now. Now looking at Matej Barnett in the Jaguars. He has a little look at the a Aston Martin. That's car number 02. That's Flack. It's the battle for 46th position, and Flack appears to have got ahead. Now looking at Harry Hotti in the number 77 Lamborghini, the Finnish driver. He's got the McLaren of car number 444 of Zabi ahead of him. The battle for 53rd place. As meanwhile, Aaron Arizay in car number 996 is showing as having a drive-through penalty. Brooke in the McLaren has come into the pits. Whether Arizay is on track for long enough to serve his drive-through penalty is another matter entirely. Trenovic, car number 40 BMW, has pitted as well. So is Peter Varga in the number 14 BMW. As Hottie has a little look at Zabi's McLaren there at Bruxelles. Coming up now to No Name Corner. If you can think of a good name for the corner, please do let us know. On the run now down to Pouhon. Still right, looking at the engine, gearbox, wing, rear diffuser, exhaust pipes and brake lights of the McLaren. Heading into the Fania chicane, excuse me. Through exit of Fania in towards Campus Corner. There's another car ahead of him, an Aston Martin. It lets Zabi through and balks Hottie. Hottie has lost an immense amount of time there thanks to a backmarker who clearly might not understand the meaning of the term blue flags. I'm going to shut up on that before I turn into James Hunt, quite honestly. Felix Fritscher in the 21 Aston Martin has come into the pits. Bit of a shame. Another good friend of mine from another Discord server. As Hottie gives the lapped Aston Martin that ahead of him the Chrome Horn, as he, well, frankly, has every right to at this point. Looking at Emil Sjöblom, he's got Verstappen just ahead of him by less than a tenth of a second. Very close between Verstappen and Sherblum. Eddie Warden is right behind Sherblum in another Lexus RCF GT3 in case sends in tears as a Bentley rightly and correctly getting out of the way there, letting the faster drivers through on the run up to the Fania chicane. Coming out of Fania now, currently looking at Mark Elgard in the number 741. Oh dear God almighty, he's in the Reiter Lamborghini Gallardo. Oh mate. Oh, mate, you absolute mad lad. It's all I can say, quite honestly. Having the guts to drive that thing around here, incredibly brave of you. He's got the number 13 Audi of Keres behind him, and the BMW of Tarantino just behind them as our commentary booth is filling up rather nicely indeed. Currently looking at Eddie Warden in the Lexus, 10th place overall, car number 56. And we're looking from a third-person view of the Emil Fry Racing Lexus RCF GT3 on the brakes into La Source. Quiet line gets a good exit out of La Source, just the right amount of curb there. Heading down the hill now on the run towards Eau Rouge and Radion, past the historic pits. Going up the hill, what may seem like nothing in a Grand Prix car is a phenomenal test of skill in a GT3 car. Here there's the Git in the Aston Martin behind, DOR just behind him. Warden is having a little look at Sherblum, maybe, no, not quite, into Les Combes. Coming out of Les Combes now into Campus Corner. Sherblum runs maybe a little wide there, I think, as they head on the brakes into the hairpin at Bruxelles. Coming out of Bruxelles towards No Name Corner or Racing Sim Tools Corner or SimSock Corner or whatever you want to call it. Shout out to our sponsors for SimSock and Racing Sim Tools for sponsoring our server and making events like this possible. It's truly appreciated. Heading now towards the Fania chicane. Warden still glued to the gearbox of Sherblum's Lexus RCF, and oh goodness me, it's really filling up in here, so feel free to chip in if you'd like, with 2 minutes and 40 seconds left of the race. Currently still looking at Eddie Warden in the number 56 Lexus. There's Barnett in Porsche car number 24 in 23rd place has received a drive-through penalty, which I can only presume is for track limits, which I admit is quite easy to do here at Spa-Francorchamps, especially at Pouhon. Currently now looking at Jack Alexander in the lead of the race here in the number 303 Aston Martin. Got hiring behind him in the number 19 Nissan GTR. Got a back marker and then MO plates Ferrari by the looks of things. So we're currently now back with Sherblum in the Lexus. Car number 747. He's got Eddie Warden behind him. He's putting up a very, very stout defence indeed. In fact, he's putting up more of a defence than Tottenham Hotspur can at the moment, quite honestly. We're currently looking at Jacob Tarantino. Deary me. There has been carnage, and there at the bus stop chicane, I think Kai Banks might have, or Simon Trebek, excuse me, might have just about got away with that. Barnett is currently in the pits in the Porsche at the moment. Currently looking at Mark Elgard in the number 741 Reiter Lamborghini Gallardo. Coming up through Eau Rouge Radion. How on earth that thing is in 23rd place, I do not know, but it's testament to Mark's skill as a driver, quite honestly. Kind of looking at from the behind of Martin Chafer's Nissan GTR, 26th place. Number 228 Golf Aston Martin behind him. Lob has got a good draft and sends it up the inside. Martin gives plenty of racing room, ever the sportsman. And Lob is up to 26th place overall. Chafer down to 27th. On what I think might well be the final lap of the race, or if not, definitely the penultimate lap of the race here in the hardest to miss Nissan GTR in the world. I do not know what Martin was thinking when he came up with this livery, but there we go. I'll have to text him later and ask him. Coming it towards Puhon now, and he's right on the back of the Aston Martin. Actually, looks like he might be gonna have a little sniff up at Fanya. Yes, he does. He in fact gets past. He has such a good run through Puhon. He gets past before the Fanya chicane. Means Martin Schaefer is back up to 26th place overall. Still looking at Martin's Lexus. Lob is just behind him in 27th. There appears to be an Audi R8. Yes, that's Carez, car number 13, I believe. Currently in the battle for 28th. In fact, Carez has just got past for 27th place. We're currently looking at Marco Podovsky at the moment in the number 33 Rinaldi Racing Ferrari 488 GT3. Coming up towards Leikum now. There's a battle just behind between there's a lapped Porsche there, and Crawford Brown in the bright yellow Ferrari is right behind him for good measure. Coming through Malmedy down towards, excuse me, Bruxelles on what looks like the final lap of the race, lap 13. Alexander is still in the lead from Hiring by 2.9 seconds. Currently looking at Peter Lobb, who was a little bit of a battle there as Petushkov gets past in the Aston Martin as well. Currently looking at Kai Banks' Nissan GTR. Got the BMW of Jakob Tarantino behind him. Currently now looking at Jack Alexander's very almost a Courier Cos-esque liveried Aston Martin. Got another Aston Martin there who wisely lets him go, being the race leader. Coming through Blanchemont now. Only got the bus stop chicane to go on the lap 13, the 13th and final lap of the race here, as Jack Alexander gets a good clean exit from the bus stop chicane and wins the RWB Big Grid race at Spa-Francorchamps. There's Klaus Hiring, second place. Currently now looking at MO plates in the Iron Lynx Ferrari, car number 71, who also crosses the line now with a next Ferrari of Podovsky, as Crawford Brown has picked up a drive-through penalty. He's been passed by Jongen in the Lexus, and Crawford Brown, oh dearie me, that's been converted to a very sizable time penalty. I think that might be 80 seconds from what I can see on my screen, such as the length of the pit lane here at Spa-Francorchamps. That's not ideal. Wharton, Sjöblom, Gill, Kozzolia, Kreuger, Denise have all crossed the line. Sharp has crossed the line in the 129 Audi. Mohamed Karolia is going to be the next driver to cross the line in the Audi, or is he? Mackie has crossed the line, passes across the line. Rigel Karolia might have stopped on track, I think. We're currently looking at Mark Elgard in the Mad Lad Mark, as I'm going to refer to him from now on, for having the guts to drive that right to Gallardo. Now looking at in 20th, currently looking at Stefan Krutnik in the number 38 Jota McLaren. A little bit of front end damage on the car. Not surprising when you're starting and racing mid-pack in a race here. Shout out to Vakayan in the number 60, currently 33rd place, and the best in the number 60 Aston Martin, Steph Vakayan, is going to win the AM class by quite some margin. 32nd place in a field as genuinely as strong as this is not to be sniffed at, and well done. That is thoroughly well deserved. Coming looking at Jack Donaldson in the 141 McLaren. It goes very wide. In fact, there's a few drivers going incredibly wide there. Damien Wilk has pitted. Currently looking at Martin Schaefer just cruising around. Currently now looking at Matt Sjöblom, Emil's father, in the number 555 Lexus, who crosses the line to take 36th overall behind Flack. Good result from him. Donaldson comes in behind him. Dahlgren's pitted. Lob has crossed the line. We're currently looking at Chafer, and that was that in the first half an hour of the RWB big grid race here at Spa-Francorchamps. And oh my goodness, I had no idea where to look for the entire time. A shout out to RWB Nate Newcomer for hosting this stream and being a TV director with just about the hardest job imaginable to direct, knowing where to look, when, and at what time. Thoroughly. I'm still giving you the credit for it, mate, because it's on your end, and wow, that was absolutely nothing short of frenetic.
It was a bit, yeah, it was a bit, wasn't it?
Yep, it was quite something. It's easily the biggest grid of cars I've commentated on. I mean, in real life at the Spa 24 Hours, you get 60 cars tops. So to have 82 cars on track here at Spa, even on a 4.3 mile, 7.004 kilometre long circuit, is quite something.
Yeah, we've got to do it all again.
Yep, absolutely. I'll be right back in a sec, just getting a drink quickly.
I'm going to try not to crash this time. Yeah, nice job, Nate. Nice job. Did you catch the start? Oh, awesome. I bet it. Well, I'm going to go in and do it all again, so I'll catch you in a bit.
And I'm terribly sorry about that. I'm back now, just in time for the start of the second race here at Spa-Francorchamps. Another half an hour of racing. Game time is showing 6 p.m. We've got Jack Alexander in the 303 Aston Martin on pole position, leading them round. Hiring second in the Nissan. Radek Schuller third in the Honda NSX. Then Emo Play, Verstappen, Brown, Podovsky, Warden, Sjöblom, DOR rounding out the top 10. Varley in 11th, Carollia 12th, Kotzolia 13th, Lemke 14th, Partes, I think that is, excuse me, 15th, Mackie in 16th, Aaron Aradane 17th, Simon Kruger 18th, Git 19th, Denise rounding out the top 20, Kutnik in 21st in the McLaren, Kai Banks, RWB Godzilla rounding out the top 22, Jake Moore 23rd in the Audi, and that's about as far as my timing screen goes, unfortunately. It looks to be a very good race indeed. Out now, we're on board with 24th place Magnus Dahlgren. Got Kares in 25th, Rigel in 26th, Lara 27th, Florentin 28th, Syke 29th, Roberto rounding out the top 30 there. And then after him, we've got Tarantino in the 25 BMW, Jakob Tarantino, Mark Elgard in the Reiter Gallardo, Dame in 32nd, Damien Wigglesworth, Mad out 35th in the number 4 Audi, Stamley, Tentovic, Varga, Brook, De Vries, Tribeck, Flemon, Boover, Gretschel in 44th, Vakin in 45th, Red in the 46th position, Hottie, Sjöblom, Gross, and Correa there, rounding out the top 50. I think we're only just halfway through the field. A good measure. Herman's in 51st place. Emoff, Mr. Free, I believe that is, in 52nd. Barnett, Lob, Pater, Zabi, Silver, Taylor, Donaldson, Hussein in the number 10, rounding out the top 60. Asif Hussein, the Canadian driver. Strefer, Yulda, Barton, Legursky, Flack, RWB Flack there in 65th place. Charger in 66th, car number 70 right there. Looking at the lovely Golf livery McLaren as Jack Alexander leads them through the Fania chicane on the warm-up lap. He is effectively the safety car driver at the moment, or rather the pace car, as it is prior to the start of the race. Crawford Brown there using his windscreen wipers for some reason. Can only assume he's mispressed a button on his steering wheel. Why would you do that in the try? Just make a messier windscreen, surely. But then again, I only have a provisional driving license, and you can probably tell. Exactly. Yeah, he could well be. They're currently forming up 2 by 2 now, or at least trying to get into a 2 by 2 formation, as Alexander appears to be taking the rate with very much the racing line through Blanchemont. Warm up lap, they appear to be. No, someone's trying to go 3 wide. Someone's actually gone off there on the warm up lap. Can't quite make out, unfortunately, who it is. There's all manner of carnage going on, very untidy, I must say. Not that Jack Alexander actually cares at this point, because he is in the lead and leading everyone around as they come towards the bus stop chicane. Admittedly, it's quite difficult to go 2x2 through there. Heading onto the pit straight now. Hiring puts his foot down to get back alongside. Heads now up towards the start finish line. Crawford Brown has actually pitted as well from 6th position, so means there appears to be not a gap there. Coming out of La Source now, hiring puts his foot down. Alexander slows down. They come towards the green light to start race 2 here at the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. 30 minutes of racing is underway.
Green light, go, go, go.
Now, the green light has gone out. Alexander gets the jump on hiring. Radek Schuller's still in 3rd place. Verstappen appears to have got a plate for 4th. Yes, he has. Marco Podovsky in 5th place. The car's already gone off in the background, I believe. There's a Lexus there in 6th place behind Podovsky. There's Christoph Verstappen, who just cycling through at the moment. He has a little look around the outside. Maybe a Radek Schuller. He decides against it. Schuller's got hiring and Alexander in front of him. Right now looking at Christoph Verstappen in the Lamborghini Huracan GT3. Now looking at Mohamed Carolla. Good start from him up to 11th place. He's about to go past Lemke for 10th. On the brakes into Bruxelles. Carolla has the inside line. Lemke is trying valiantly to hold on around the outside. He doesn't. Carolla's up to 10th place in the number 99 Audi R8 GT3. Currently Lemke in 11th. Partez 12th. Currently now looking at Aaron Araday, who's going quite slowly indeed. He's down to 30th place. Has there been an incident involving the Audi driver, car number 996? The timing screen just on the left is yet to update. Still showing Araday as being in 16th place, although he is well down the field now. Currently looking at Jakob Tarantino in the BMW as everyone is jostling for position on lap 1 here at Spa-Francorchamps, coming into the Fagnes chicane. Now there's a McLaren off in the background as well. There's another car off there as well at the Fagnes chicane. Unfortunately, I can't quite make out who that was. Maybe there's been a collision of some sorts. Tarantino appears to have fallen down the field to 43rd, excuse me. Maybe he's been involved in an incident. He's got Taylor ahead of him in the Aston Martin, Loeb, Matt Scherbler, Moore, Bouvier in the silver class, sorry, the silver cup, excuse me, class Mercedes. There's a Lamborghini off in the background there as well. There's another car off as well. And oh my goodness me, there's contact everywhere. I think that might be Simon Trebek involved. There's the Tarantino's been involved as well. Currently now looking at Kutnik in the 38 McLaren. May have had a slight incident in qualifying, although with all due respect, I don't know what you could have done to get away with it. That slow Aston Martin is currently side by side with Mackie heading down towards Orish Radion. He's not going to have a go, surely. No, he's not. He backs out of it through Radion. Mackie takes a little bit of a shortcut there. They've got Git in the Aston Martin in front of them, and Kutnik and Mackie are side by side coming into Lake Coombe. And Kutnik is better on the brakes. He gets ahead of Mackie. Mackie tries to have a little look, but no, he finds the back end of a McLaren right in front of him and decides against it. Now on board with Carrej, Juan Carrej, the Brazilian driver, car number 13. No, now we're on board with Phil Varley in the 55 McLaren in this big, I guess McLaren train, as you could call it. There's a lot of them there. There's, oh, it's a big moment there from someone. Could have been Mackie. It is Mackie. Mackie's lost it. He's lost positions to Simon Kruger, Phil Varley, and Dahlgren as well in the 89, I believe. And also Damien Wilt, there's another car off there as well. And they're currently on board with Emo Plate in the Iron Lynx Ferrari. He's just lost the position to Marco Podovsky. He's got Emil Sjöblom. Good run from the Swede there. And a good run from the Swede coming out of Stavlo as well through the curb. Paul Frere. Has Sjöblom got ahead? Yes, he has, but Plate does have the inside line. He sees the position. Sjöblom got DOR right behind him in the Emil Fry Lexus as well for good measure. Emo Plate holds on at the bus stop chicane. The next lap, they've completed 2 laps so far. Currently about to start lap number 3 here. On the brakes for La Source. Oh, he thinks about it. DOI decides against it though. As going past a couple of cars in the pits. Green past the old pits here at Spa-Francorchamps. Down through the compression at Eau Rouge, up into Radion. And on towards the Kemmel Straight they come, with just under 25 minutes to go. Still early days in this race yet. Still with Emo Plate. He's got a good draft actually. By the looks of things, he's pulled away slightly from DOR. Looking at the gearbox of Emil Sjöblom's Lexus RCF. Plate being in the Iron Lynx Ferrari 488. Good on the brakes into Bruxelles, into the second sector here at Spa. You would imagine the Ferrari would be the stronger car around here, mid-engined, a little bit more agile maybe. Currently, they all head through there. Can Emo Plate make use of the slightly more agile Ferrari platform? There's another Ferrari there, back marker going quite wide. Let's them through. Let's a few others maybe through as well. We'll just wait for the positions to change on the timing monitors. The Aston Martin in question numbers. Actually, no, that's the 69 Ferrari, excuse me, which has gone off. It was a back marker, so no relation to this battle here between Emo Plate, still staring at the back of Emil Sjöblom in the 747 Lexus. Plate having a little look, maybe trying to get a good exit from Blanchemont. Is he going to have a little look up the inside? He thinks about it, decides against it though. Sjöblom still holds on to 5th. Coming out of the bus stop chicane, there's a McLaren there cutting the chicane somewhat. That was Kotzolia. Now with Marco Podovsky, who's got... well, he's not in a particularly enviable position at the moment. Unfortunately, the German driver, he's got Emil Sjöblom behind him and Radek Schuller in front of him. Neither of whom are slow. In fact, quite frankly, they're aliens as far as I'm concerned. They are that fast. Hiring's in the lead from Verstappen now. What's happened to Alexander? He must have been involved in an incident or lost it on his end or gone off. I'm not 100% sure, but either way, that means the big old front engine Nissan is in the lead of the race. I say front engined, it's more front mid-engined, such as the position of the engine in relation to the front axle centerline. We are on board with Podovsky still, heading through Bruxelles into good through the second part. Unfortunately, so is Radek Schuller in the Honda NSX. On the brakes now for Fania. Gotta say, there's the Honda and the Ferrari are very equal in terms of their layout, in terms of their performance capability. So it's going to come down to driver skill at the end of the day. And in Radek Schuller and Marco Podovsky, we have 2 of the most skilled drivers on the entire server. So good luck trying to separate them. I'm not a betting man myself, but I do not want to be placing any on this. It is that close between them. Hiring is still in the lead in the GTR. Nissan car number 19, number 16 Lamborghini Verstappen is right there as well. Looks as if Podovsky's actually closed on to Schuller there through the final sector of the lap. Meanwhile, Verstappen is holding back a little bit. Hiring has... well, he's 5.4 seconds up the road. He's checked out as far as I'm concerned. No. Should I guess a little bit? There's Aaron Araday in the 996. Oh, has he taken the McLaren out? He's caused absolute carnage. There is absolute carnage on the exit of Blanchimont on the run towards the bus stop chicane. After Aaron Araday has spun almost in the middle of the pack, he's lost 10 positions. Peter Varga up to 27th, Mark Elgard up to 26th, Madal up to 30th. Bouvier doing well in Silver Cup Mercedes up to 32nd. Araday's now down to 36th place overall. He's just passed the, I think he might have just passed the Bentley of Martin Pater, the Flying Dutchman. So currently looking at a third-person view of Aaron Araday's Audi R8. He might be getting a track limits warning there for the cut at the top of Radion. Hottie, meanwhile, is in the pits in the 77 Lamborghini for some reason. Still looking at Jack Alexander now, our pole sitter, who's down to 29th place overall. Not what was expected after such a dominant performance in the opening race for the Scottish driver in the... I still see those colours on a car and just immediately think of the old Acuria Cos team from back in the day. It reminds me of whenever Dario Franchitti had success in IndyCar at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. They paint the masthead of Autosport magazine here in the UK in Scottish Racing Blue. Meanwhile, Emo Plate in the Ferraris right on the back of Emil Sjöblom. Plate thinks about it, decides against it. As Marco Podovsky's right on the back of Radek Schuller's car. Currently looking at Nicholas Taylor, the Malaysian driver, car number 66 in the Aston Martin. He's got the McLaren of, I believe that's Lara for company, or is that Florentin? I'm not 100% sure. It is indeed Florentin. Florentin sends it up the inside at the bus stop. He gets it stopped. Holds it tight on the inside. Oh, there's a little bit of contact there between Taylor and Florentin. And has that given Lara a chance coming onto the pit straight? Lara in the number 15 McLaren. They're almost side by side. Is Rodrigo Lara? Yes, he is. He's gonna get him on the brakes at the source, and he runs a little bit wide. He lets Taylor back through. Taylor getting the undercut there. Jack Alexander up to 28th place. He's got Peter Varga, one of our fellow commentators, right in front of him. Varga's not going to make it easy. I know what he's like. And indeed, he's not making it easy for Alexander. This is for position, remember. We'll take a decent cut there at the top of Radion. And Alexander in the Aston Martin. I think Varga... Is he letting him through? I think Varga has admitted that he has come off second best there for that battle. Jack Alexander, phenomenally quick driver. It'll be interesting to see how many places he makes up here. Looking at Martin Pater, the Flying Dutchman, currently 35th place. He's got De Vries ahead of him. He's got a couple of back markers as well, and then Aaron Araday's Audi R8. He's having a little look there at De Vries, currently 35th place. Martin Pater. Currently on looking at Asif Hossein, who's dropped some way down the field. The Canadian driver, car number 10, it's an Aston Martin Vantage GT3. And now we're looking at Ian Mackey in the McLaren, another Scottish driver. Not held up there at all. He's got a couple of Lexus in front of him. That might be the Leeds battle. In fact, I think it might well be. I recognise the liveries there. You've got Mr. Git there in car number 28. The almost Braun GP-esque Aston Martin, for those of us with long enough memories, which I think might well be the entire server, quite frankly. The heroics of the small Braun Grand Prix team with Jenson Button and Rubens Barrichello in 2009. up against much better funded rivals. He's got the McLaren of Kutnik right behind him. We're currently now looking at Jake Moore, car number 91, the Audi R8. He's got Lara in front of him in the McLaren. Coming down the hill towards Eau Rouge, through the compression, up towards Radion, through Radion. You really feel the steering weight up through there, much like the mineshaft at Kyalami and the exit of Paddock Hill. You really feel the compression through the steering wheel at the bottom of Eau Rouge there, coming into Lake Coombe now. We're looking at Klaus Nyring, our race leader, who has
Keep pushing.
halfway through the race, he's got a very, very comfortable lead. He can almost afford to start fuel saving from here. Not that it's going to be needed with a half hour long race, but well, this is an endurance race. You could really start to fuel save quite dramatically. Currently with Mohamed Karolia, car number 99, the Audi R8 of Simsoc Racing. Simsoc being one of our fantastic sponsors here at RWB, along with Racing Sim Tools. And massive thanks to them, because without whom we would not be able to hold races like this. And speaking of races coming up in November, we have the now traditional, I guess it is after the huge success of last year, the RWB 12-hour charity race. Probably looking at Kutnik's McLaren. I might get back to that in a sec. See what Kutnik does. He sends it up the inside of Partes in the Ferrari. He makes it stick. Means Kutnik's up to 12th place. Partes almost a cork in the bottle now. He's got Simon Kruger behind him. Kruger does not make an attempt at La Source. Sorry, it's Samuel Kruger. Oh, God. Sam, I'm so sorry for calling you Simon. I really am. But Samuel Kruger in the McLaren. We're looking at Radek Schuller now. A few attempts of Verstappen in the Lamborghini. This is about for second place overall. We have a 12-hour race at Bathurst, Mount Panorama, coming up in November to raise money for Spinal Track. An absolutely fantastic charity, Spinal Track are. They help to provide cars with hand controls on them, so drivers who have spinal injuries can experience driving high performance cars. More information on the RWB Discord server. We're looking at De Vries in 29th place. He's got a Lamborghini. He's got a Bentley, by the looks of it. He's right behind him. That's Martin Pater, the Flying Dutchman. Heading towards Malmedy. Coming out of there, Pater, he has a little look up towards the inside at Broysel. Does he get the position? It's a valiant defence from De Vries, but Pater gets P29 in the Bentley, and De Vries might actually lose another position here to Kai Banks as well, and indeed he does. Banks gets him on the run in towards Pujon, but he loses it on the marbles, loses a bit of momentum, and gives De Vries the biggest sigh of relief he's probably had for some time behind the wheel of a race car. Not to put too much pressure on Simon, but he's got Aaron Araday behind him, and Araday is going to want to be making up places. Currently looking at Radek Schuller now. He's right behind Verstappen, and right behind them is Marco Podovsky in the Ferrari. MO plate has just dropped back a little bit. Currently with Radek Schuller, car number 96. He gets a good draft on the Lamborghini. We'll have to come back to that in a sec, because they'll be looking at Dirk Gretschel in the Porsche. He's got an Aston Martin ahead of him. That's gross. Car number 8, Silver Cup car. They've got Barton as well in the McLaren, and Verstappen has lost second place to Radek Schuller. Radek Schuller has indeed got past Christoph Verstappen, and now Verstappen and Schuller as well, for that matter, both have Marco Podovsky right behind them, heading through Pujon as we speak. At the moment, currently still Verstappen third. Oh, is that a little bit of a mistake on the curbs from Verstappen? Who knows? Schuller's pulled another car length or so. Brought Verstappen further back into the clutches of Podovsky. Coming through Stavolo. Now up the hill towards the curb pull Frere, towards Blanchemont. As well, currently looking at Carlo Denise, sorry, in the number 666 Bentley. The most, arguably the most metal number on the grid. And he's got the Aston Martin Wigglesworth in front of him. Currently looking at Godzilla, who's back on the tail end of De Vries in the Lamborghini. Kai Banks in the Red Bull liveried Nissan GTR. That is a good looking livery as well, I must say. Got to be somewhat mindful of Aaron Araday's presence, just under a second now behind them. De Vries almost being a cork in the bottle, as that's bringing Flack into the equation with Araday as well, for good measure. This is the battle for 30th place overall. Currently looking at Zabi in the number 444 McLaren, down in 52nd place. I don't know why Auto Direct has done that, but we've got just over 8 minutes to run, 50 seconds. Jakob Tarantino's in the pits. The 69 Ferrari of Ueda has got a drive-through penalty. Rygel's in the pits. Mr. Freeze in the pits as well. Currently looking at Chris Brook, number 27 McLaren, 28th place overall. No doubt wants to get past Mad Al, I'd imagine, to make car number 27 in 27th place. Good bit of symmetry. Martin Peters 4 seconds behind them. Mad Al's doing incredibly well there in the Audi. And Kotzolia, car number 11 in 8th place, has received a drive-through penalty. I can only presume this is for track limits, but DOR is right behind him. I wonder if the Lexus driver there in car number 18 in the Emil Fry Racing Lexus has received the message that the car ahead of him, there's no point bothering to fight with him, because that in front of you, he's got a drive-through penalty. Mohamed Karolia there in 7th place. Just has to ignore the Lexus there. Currently now looking at Sergio Lemke in the Lamborghini. He's currently got Kutnik ahead of him. Kutnik doing very well there in 11th place at the moment, but Lemke is blooming desperate for it. Doesn't quite get him on the run into the bus stop. Chicane at the end of the lap. In the orange one, FFF Racing Team Lamborghini. Bides his time. Is he going to have a little look up at La Source? No, he doesn't. Kutnik keeps the position there. Currently looking at Jake Moore's rather sorry looking Audi RA, I'm afraid to say. Car number 91 is in 21st place. He's got the 666 bent in front of him with Denise. He has a little look up the inside and he goes past for 20th place. Has that actually brought the Aston Martin of Lob through as well? Yes, it has. Denise running a little bit wide there at La Source, and that makes him lose 2 places, down to 22nd overall. Jake Moore in 20th, currently with Wigglesworth in front of him, doing very well in the Silver Cup. Aston Martin now looking at Damien Wilk. long-time member of RWB in the number 23 Lamborghini. Polish driver, currently having a little... Oh, he's coming up to Bruxelles now. There's a couple of cars ahead of him, in fact. Yes, Nicholas Taylor and Dahlgren as well in the McLaren, battling for 17th, and this is playing into his hands rather nicely indeed. Kotsolia in 8th, still showing us having a drive-through penalty. And looking at Taylor's Aston Martin now as we speak. Heading now, looking at Marco Podovsky in the Rinaldi Ferrari. He's got Verstappen just in front of him. Podovsky, who's one of the driver coaches, effectively driver trainers, if you will, here at RWB, showing very clearly why he is one of them. And he hits the brakes for La Source. Currently looking at Robert de Vries now in the 39 Lamborghini. He's got Kai Banks in the GTR right up his behind. Banks gives him a little nudge and gives him the chrome horn. Gets him out of the way. And oh, goodness me, there's been a big accident involved. I think Martin Pater's involved. Mad Al's involved. De Vries is down to 31st place after Banks gave the chrome horn to De Vries. Get him out of the way. He had Aaron Araday for company as well. I think that might be looked at by the stewards. But Kai Banks, Pater's Bentley is having issues. Mad Al's Audi appears to be stuck in the gravel, not in particularly good shape. Currently looking at RWB Charger in the Golf livery. Aston Martin, who loses it at the exit of Blanchemont. Get the car off, please. Yes. Oh, that's good. Thankfully, there's no one close to him. He had a good 16 seconds between him and Horty just behind him. Currently looking at Marco Podovsky, who's now up to 3rd place. He's just got past Verstappen. Currently trying to catch Radek Schuller at the moment in the number 96 Honda NSX GT3. MO plate there in 5th as well for giving Verstappen something to think about behind him. MO, another one of the super quick drivers, gets a little bit on the gravel maybe, I think I heard there. At Stavolo. Up into 5th gear now in the Ferrari. Coming through the curb Paul Frere. Heading up now towards Blanchemont. Flat out through Blanchemont. Brakes now for the bus stop chicane. Not even the bravest of the brave back in the old GT1 era here at Spa would have dared to take Blanchemont flat out. Potsolia, I think, appears to have lost a lot of position, so I can only presume he's taken his drive-through penalty. As MO plates with just over 2 minutes to go. He is currently still behind Verstappen's Lamborghini. Verstappen putting up his most stout defence here. Coming through Radio, and he runs a little bit wide there actually in the Lamborghini. Currently looking at Robert de Vries now in the 31. Right on the tail of Kai Banks, as Kartzolia does indeed actually pit for his drive-through penalty. He's going to be plummeting down the field. Mad Al also sadly in the pits off that incident. Kai Banks gets past Flack in the number 2. Aston Martin, the 7-Up. Jordan-esque livery. The 1991 Jordan 191-esque livery on Flack's Aston Martin there. Kai Banks in the Red Bull liveried Nissan. Goes through the bus stop chicane. Looking at Adam Silver now. Car 888. The 44th position. He's got a Ferrari just ahead of him of Yildiz. The battle for 43rd position overall. What has been yet another frantic race here at Spa-Francorchamps. Silva does indeed get past. Now looking at MO Plate again, who is still on the back of Verstappen's Lamborghini. It's almost as if the Ferrari is almost perfectly set up for the twisty middle sector here at Spa. We'll see if Verstappen can pull away in the final sector. Now we're on the long run up the hill towards the bus stop chicane, through the curb pull, where they come. Still going, still 0.2 of a second in it. Through Blanchemont, and Plate is right with him. He might have a little look at the bus stop chicane, knowing there's not long left. He decides better of it as Hiring has crossed the line. I think there will be another lap here at Spa-Francorchamps. Indeed, there will be another lap here at Spa-Francorchamps. I'm looking at Mr. Git in the number 28 Aston Martin. He's got underscore DOR, and DOR has been tipped into a spin, I think. Has he spun on his own? I'm not 100% sure, but he's lost a lot of positions there. He's been passed by Emker, Kutnik, Kreuger, Partes, among others. He's got Varley, Phil Varley now for company in the McLaren, car number 55. That spin won't have done his tyres any good at all. Currently we're looking at Sergio Lemke in the number 519 Lamborghini. The Ferrari pulls off out of the way there. It's a back marker. He's currently heading towards Kutnik's McLaren. Battle for 9th place here at Spa-Francorchamps. What is a very, very large field of cars. A very thoroughly well-deserved position indeed. MO plate, car number 5. So 5th place, excuse me, in car number 71. Dill trying to find a way past Verstappen. Verstappen holding on as best he can through the middle sector here, coming into Puhon right now. Through the first part, not running too wide, the pair of them. Through his second part, a little bit wide, maybe through from MO plate. Currently looking at Klaus Nyring now in the number 19 Nissan GTR. He can almost back off from here completely. He searches his lead over Radek Schuller. 9.4 seconds, I believe that says. He can almost afford to just lift off from here now at the exit of Blanchemont. Klaus has well and truly got this in the bag. All he has to do, get a good, clean exit, which he does, very clean, up through the gearbox. And it's Klaus Hiring in the Nissan GTR car number 19 who wins the second big grid race here at Spa-Francorchamps. Radek Schuller is going to take second place in the number 96 Honda NSX. Podovsky third in the Ferrari. And Verstappen is just going to hold on for fourth ahead of Emil Plate. Sjöblom sixth in the Lexus there. Yes, indeed. Git coming up to the line now. The Aston Martin, he's got Kutnik and Lemke for company. Lemke running very wide there at the end. And they all cross the line. Kreuger rounding out the top 10 in the number 360 McLaren. Everyone stops post-race. Taylor all starting to filter through now. Mark Elgard is trying to hold off the attentions of Aaron Araday as Wigglesworth comes home a very, very well-deserved 19th. First in Silver Cup class. Congratulations. Alexander fights his way back up to 20th. 20th place, excuse me. Denise has come home in 22nd. Carolia takes 23rd in the Audis. Lost a little bit of time there. And Mark Elgard in the 741, the Reiter engineering car, is going to take, and has indeed taken, 23rd from Aaron Araday. Araday in 24th, Brooke 5th, Godzilla coming up in 24th place. Barton in 25th. Joshua Barton, South African driver, car number 84. Got Flack in 26th. Martin Pater looks like he's set to take 27th. Matt Sjöblom has already crossed the line. Mad Al, Dirk Gretschel have already finished the race as well. And the drivers at the head of the field make their way back to the pits here at Spa-Francorchamps. no short task in real life, given just how long the circuit is. It's the longest circuit in the game. It's the longest circuit on the Formula 1 calendar as well. Everyone is crossing the... just coming across the finish line, coming into the pits at the end of the second of two action-packed, frantic races here at Spa-Francorchamps here in Belgium. And that was the end of a fantastic second race at Spa as part of the RWB Big Grid meeting. 80 cars, over 80 cars in fact, on track, I believe, tonight. Fantastic turnout here at Spa-Francorchamps, the longest circuit in the game, one of the grandest circuits in Europe and indeed in the world. And that was a fantastically action-packed race. Want to get back to the pits. A few drivers not showing up in the pits. Varley has just come in for Wigglesworth, who's moved up to 13th. Martin Pater as well, 22nd place in the Bentley. But that was a phenomenal race at Spa-Francorchamps. And that indeed was the end of the second of two races here at Spa-Francorchamps this evening for the RWB Big Grid meeting. A massive thank you so much to, first and foremost, everyone who took part. There's over 80 drivers in the field, and the driving standards were, given the circumstances and the congested nature, very, very good indeed, I thought. Massive thank you as well to our stewards for making sure we had an event tonight, to SimSock and Racing Sim Tools for sponsoring RWB, to Nate Newcomer for hosting the stream on his end. Thank you so much, mate. It's much appreciated. And also to all of you watching the RWB, Big Grid race meeting. Coming up in the next month, we have the 12 Hours of Bathurst. The RWB charity race is making a return. There's more info on the Discord server. We've also got, coming up later on as well, the Battle of the Bands, which looks very, very interesting indeed. And maybe we might get some insight into some people's music tastes, for better or for worse, I may add, with regards to that. I've been Rob Lomas. Massive thank you to Nate Newcomer for hosting this stream. We'll see you next time for the next RWB race on Assetto Corsa competition.